The first breakout session is happening here. So we'd like to call on the speakers now. Don't forget that the second breakout session is at the Career Pavilion. The third is right behind us. And the fourth is happening at the exhibition arena. Now, for the breakout session one, focused on next frontiers, harnessing AI, robotics, and the blockchain for urban innovation. To moderate this session, we have the Director of Programs, Business Front. Director of Programs, Business Front, Esohe Igbinoba. Moderator, please, Esohe, can we put our hands together for Esohe as Esohe comes forward? We also have software marketer, Monica Technologies, Stephanie David, Kosisa Chuku to please come up, please. The co-founder, Polytop Lab and Hyber Bridge, Sheon Lalege, please come up stage. Co-founder, Tingtel, Simpa Yakini to please come up stage. The special advisor to the governor on innovation and broadband, Engineer Ganiu Olatunji Osene to please come up stage. And the founder of CDial, Olayinka Inyolakon, please come up stage. We have less than 45 minutes for each of the breakout sessions, and they must take place simultaneously. Now, for the breakout session 2 in Career Pavilion, we'd like these speakers to please move to the stage within the Career Pavilion.
We'd like to let you know that that breakout session, that is the breakout session 2, is going to be happening at the Career Pavilion, and they're going to be speaking on circular systems and the new urban value chain. And the moderator there is the CEO West Africa at Godrej Consumer Products Limited, Kayode Oladapo. That's the moderator. We'd like you to please go towards that direction for that segment. And of course, the Executive Secretary, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, Fisayo Alayonde, would like you to please move towards that direction. And also, the Chief Executive Officer, Imani Farms Giant Limited, Dr. M.M. Alban, would like you to please move to the Career Pavilion. And of course, the founder, Soilless Farm Lab, Samson Ogbole, would like you to please move towards that direction. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Executive Officer, Garbage in Value Out, Givo, Victor Boyle Komolafe, would like you to please move to the Career Pavilion. And of course, the President, Recyclers Association of Nigeria, Harold Okonobo, would like you to please go there so that we can discuss circular systems and the new urban value chain. For the third breakout segment, for the third at the back, I would like you to know that we are discussing from fuel to future, the rise of e-mobility in Lagos. And to moderate this particular panel, we have the Chief Operating Officer, Pepper Pelumi Oyetimehin. That is the moderator at the back. And of course, we have the Chief Executive Officer, Possible Electric Mobility Limited, Olatoyin Moshope Olaoshebikon. Please, we'd like you to move there. And of course, we have the country representative in Drive Nigeria, Oladimeji Timothy. Thank you very much. And of course, the chairman and CEO, Saglev, Dr. Sam Benga Faleye, would like you to please move towards that direction. And then the member is a member of Board of Advisors, AI in Nigeria, Lola Aworanti Ekugo. We would like you to please go to the back. That is where we are going to be discussing from fuel to future. And then Dr. Obadare Peter Adewale, the Chief Visionary Officer, Digital Encode Limited. Please, we are to be at the back. Thank you very much. And the next breakout session, which is the fourth one, is going to be happening at the exhibition arena. And they're going to be discussing from grid to green, driving Lagos transition to clean energy. And to moderate this segment is a journalist and storyteller, Tech Next, Omoleye Omoruyi. To join Omoleye Omoruyi is the manager, solutions architect, Equinix West Africa, David Mosaku, the co-founder, Sunfi, Rotimi Thomas, the national president, Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria, Ayo Ademilua, and the CEO, Denastar Solutions Limited, engineer Olalere Odushote, and the co-founder, Green Energy Biofuels, Femi Oye. These breakout sessions will be happening simultaneously. We'll appreciate that all our discussants are seated and ready to engage on the various topics that will be discussed. And this breakout session begins now. Thank you. Those that are going to be participating in this panel session in front, please want to be sure that we are together. If you are here, can we raise your hand so we are sure of who we are speaking with? Thank you very much. Okay, we are sure. Okay, thank you. All right.
Sorry, your mic's work. Okay, hi. I think we're back live now. Sorry. Okay, so let me just step out a bit because it's a bit of a long panel. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We would be starting shortly. Just wanted to be sure that the mic was working. Can we do a very brief elevator pitch introduction of yourself, like 1 minute or less? So we're going to start with Sheol and then we'll move to the end.
All right, for sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Sheol Lanlege, and I'm the co-founder of Polytope Labs. We're a blockchain research and development lab, and we're building Hyperbridge, which is decentralized, secure cross-chain infrastructure for stablecoin issuers, dApp developers, and all kinds of tokenized assets.
My name is Simpa. I'm co-founder for ThinkTel. At ThinkTel, we sit at the intersection between fintechs and telcos. We enable financial services to unbanked people using mobile airtime. The numbers show that there are more mobile phone subscribers than bank accounts. So leveraging on your airtime, you can convert it to cash. You can send airtime to people in remote areas that are not fully banked, and then they can have access to, using the airtime, they can convert it to cash and use it to access financial services. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Engineer Ganiyi Oseni. I'm Special Advisor to the Governor of Lagos State on Technology, Broadband, and Innovation. Through my office, we try to drive broadband penetration and inclusion throughout the state, especially to the underserved areas and populace of the state. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yinka Nyolakon, co-founder, CEO at CDAO AI. We build AI models for African languages and African businesses so that they can provide the best customer experience to their customers. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Stephanie Kosisochukwu. I'm a publicist and software marketer of Monica Cash. We are a fintech company and a financial management platform where we offer services like conversion of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, USDT, Ethereum, Solana, and all of that to Naira in seconds. And we offer additional services like discounted data, purchase of gift cards, payment of utility bills, and all of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those very brief introductions. So I want us to get into the meat of the matter. Topic is Next Frontiers, Harnessing AI, Robotics, and Blockchain for Urban Innovation. And I would like us to be as practical as possible so that our audience, have things to take away from this session. So we have two things that we're kind of bringing together. We have technology, and not just surface technology, actual technology. We're talking AI, robotics, deep tech. Then you have urban development on the other hand, which is like a physical, very, very physical infrastructure, right? So you're combining digital infrastructure with physical infrastructure. And then you have things like the digital public infrastructure, where you have your digital payments and all these other things that telecoms, things that we have like shared digital resources that make urban living worth living. I would like us to speak from the companies you currently work with and from where you currently sit. What is the future looking like in terms of how technology has advanced and how Lagos State can improve urban development with how innovative technology today in 2025 is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you can speak to that, how can we leverage technology to improve urban development in Lagos State? Yes, that.
All right, awesome. Obviously, I'm coming from a blockchain perspective, and one of the biggest things in the blockchain industry this year has been stablecoin issuance on the blockchain. Just this year alone, over $100 billion has been added on chain in form of stablecoin issuance. And experts are projecting that by 2030, we will see over $1 trillion worth of real world assets. So not just fiat currency, but other kinds of real world assets, equities, stocks, real estate tokenized. Now, while this is great because those of us who have been in the blockchain industry for quite a long time, we've always been saying that blockchain is going to replace existing financial infrastructure because it's just more open, it's more transparent, and it scales to the entire world. But this also presents what I would even call a national security problem. You see, because if all of these stable coins on chain are US dollar denominated stable coins, then what this means is that the entire internet is going to run off of US dollars. Even more so, local payments in other countries. So essentially, the entire world is going to be dollarized. It's not going to be the case that, oh, your local currency failed, and that's why people are using dollars, kind of like what we saw in Venezuela, kind of like what we saw in Argentina. It's just going to be that because these dollar, stablecoins are accessible and easy to use, people will just use them more than they use the local currency. And so I think for Lagos to, and not just Lagos, of course, but even the whole of Nigeria to stay up to date with technology, we need to start thinking about how to issue Naira-backed or Naira-denominated stablecoins. Now, here's where it's very, very dangerous. A lot of the stablecoins and stablecoin issuers have now been mandated by the federal government of the United States to back their reserves using treasury holdings. So every stablecoin you're going to be using is going to be backed by US debts. This is very critical because right now, the world is dumping the US Treasury debts. China is dumping US Treasury debts in record numbers. They're buying gold. Gold is flying off the roof. Japan is having its worst economic crisis yet. They are also one of the largest holders of US treasuries, and they're going to start dumping those treasuries soon. So the US government is actually trying to find new buyers for these treasuries.
So your solution is that we set up a Naira-backed stable coin,
for sure.
Thank you. I would like Engineer Gani to speak to this from how do we leverage digital infrastructure to improve our urban physical infrastructure? Because these are two worlds kind of like combining together.
Okay, thank you very much. So I smile at this blockchain, crypto, and finance intersection. So most of the times at forums like this, people talk about blockchain, and 90% of the audience doesn't even understand what blockchain or cryptocurrency is and stable.
We can't hear you, sir.
Sorry. 90% of the audience typically would not understand what stable coins, bitcoins, and everything. So blockchain is basically a trust mechanism. Yeah. So in the case of government, the easiest ways or the easiest deployment of it will be for identity cards, for example, voter registration. Yeah. Voter registration, medical records. Those are the areas where it will be translational for government to use technology, for example, in this case,
blockchain. AI, robotics, blockchain.
Yes. In this case,
practical applications.
Practical applications. Yeah. Those are the areas. There are other areas, but I think in the area of finance, it's quite overflowed. Yeah. Honestly speaking, the financial sector will safeguard anything that has to do with money or finance. So I think that area is well taken care of. But the other practical cases are the cases which I have just given. So I think in that area, it's an area government will play in. We must also put guardrails. I'm a big advocate of putting guardrails, and safeguards in place in the deployment of this technology. And that leads to one thing I must say, and that leads to the question of education and advocacy. It's so nice to say we have blockchain, we have this, but what does it mean to you and I if I don't even understand the ABCs of blockchain? So I think education, the part of government is also the grassroots education to allow them participate in these futuristic technologies and emerging technologies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I quickly?
You can, after all the speakers have spoken. So I would like us to thank you so much, engineer, for the work that you do and for speaking to practical things that we could do. How can we apply technology to our current infrastructure? And by infrastructure, I'm referring to digital infrastructure. So you mentioned a few examples. So there's telecoms infrastructure already. The reason why we have our mobile phones so we can make calls, right? There's the internet infrastructure. We have data centers. You have the medical infrastructure. If you go to most private hospitals in Nigeria, they have technologies that enable them work better. So, we're proud of the work that Lagos has done over the last decade and multiple decades. But what we're here to talk about is what is next. What else can we do from an innovative point of view to improve our urban infrastructure? So, how exactly can we leverage artificial intelligence? What practical tools or platforms can we create that makes the average Lagosian's life better? So, just Timpa, do you have anything you would like to add to that?
Yeah. So I'm a bit different from my blockchain on the left and the right.
That's fine.
We mostly cater for underserved markets,
Okay.
right? And I would say there's still a lot of people that are unbanked or underbanked in Lagos and Nigeria as a whole. And I would say part of the biggest issues they have are three things. If you want to get the remaining people to come on board in the digital financial services, you have to offer low friction, high trust, and speed. So I'm saying going forward, my recommendation to the government would be financial apps should be tailored for unbanked people too. You want somebody who's using a feature phone to bank with you, but everybody's solution is on a mobile app. There's no USSD.
There's USSD and there are POS agents already for those people.
Yes, but if you observe the thing about USSD, the most people that their USSD is in use are the commercial banks. And to get onboarded on the commercial banks, you need to provide lots of identity. You need to provide your NIN, you need to provide your BVN, you need to provide so many details. For somebody who's doing 200 naira today, 500 naira today, 1,000 naira today, he's not going to go to the bank.
POS.
POS.
Yes.
Okay, so the thing,
That's how we're reaching the underserved market.
yes, but with the POS, so everybody assumes POS solves the issue. But with POS, you have to be technically banked in a way to receive money. How do I receive money from somebody from my neighbor that has a POS?
They figure it out.
Exactly.
No, so they do. If you go to every market, and you say you work with the underserved market, every market they have POS people. They sell their markets, they make 20,000 naira or 50,000 naira. They go to the POS person, or you want to pay them, you pay to the POS person. POS pays them cash. That's banking right there. They deposit and they withdraw. That's banking.
Yes, but it's multiple layers, right? So you want to make sure everybody can transact on their own. The POS will close by 10. What happens if I'm unbanked and I'm out of power by 10 o'clock? What do I do? So for me, my recommendation will be three things. First off, we have to figure out the identity verification process in Nigeria.
Yes.
There's just so many fragmented databases. There's NIN, BVN, driver's license, utility bills, and and different people have different criteria to onboard. We need one central identity system, which is going to, so when I want to be onboarded on every other platform, I can just use that and then I can have access to those services. That for me, I think is a major thing we have to do to solve these issues.
Thank you so much. Can we hear from Stephanie? I know that you work with Monica. Yes. So
Yes.
talk to us about what innovative technology you have access to or you know of in your industry that can help us with urban innovation in Lagos State.
First of all, thank you very much for that question. I see that one of the major issues we have adoption to technology, AI, automation, is actually less technical and more human. It's more of human issues and less technical issues, and honestly, it's fascinating. First of all, we have like the deep trust issue. People want to try these new tools, but are so scared of getting scammed. They're scared of releasing their personal data, so they hesitate. If a tool looks too risky and it doesn't seem comfortable for them, they would not switch no matter how futuristic or shining these two promises. And there's the confidence factor. People, we use tech daily on our phones, our mobile apps, banking, and all of that. But you see, frontal tech, that's like next level thing for basic understanding. People feel like they're not equipped enough to judge the output of AI, so they hesitate, honestly. And there's lack of local use. People want to see a friend, a colleague, a vendor that uses this tool successfully. And lack of these examples makes them feel like the tech is so abstract. And then we have the fact that frontier technology uses perfect English, but this is Lagos, this is Nigeria. As Lagosians, we have a common language, which is either Yoruba or the Pidgin English. So lack of incorporation of these languages would make adoption slow, honestly, and onboarding would even be the worst. So we need to learn to incorporate local languages to help us. And there's the fact of cost. Lagosians are actually value driven. If they don't see the benefits of what this product is going to offer, they would not switch, no matter how futuristic or how wonderful or how innovative these two promises. They want to try it, tap, and move. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yinka, do you have any thoughts on innovation improving urban infrastructure in Lagos State?
I think it's layered. There's always been tech amongst us for 100 years, like different types of tech, right? The opportunity that we have right now is that the current tech that is on everybody's lips, AI, provides a bigger opportunity, a quantum leap that I would say is bigger than anything we've seen. For example, the last one that gave us the major boost was GSM technology. When it came, we're able to skip from landlines, and skip to what we started doing, USSD and all the technologies that we're mentioning today. I think that AI then provides that next leap. But how do you then use it? I personally refer to AI as personalized automation. Probably half the people in this room use AI, but they use it for their own personal use. So how then do we use it on a large scale as a government? It starts with three things. Number one is talent. Number two is data sets. So talent, data sets, and compute. And that's the role that government needs to play on the three. Talent, the people, and the public servants. Having the right education and training and upskilling to know how to use not only the publicly available AI models, but the ones that have been presented today by Honorable Commissioner, that they can use in the public service and in their businesses. And businesses also have to create a strategy to use it so they can relate with government. The second one, which is data sets. The data that we need to create what she talked about, which is technology in local languages that real Lagosians speak, is not on the internet. It's in the minds of the people. So we need to find ways to collect, extract that data set, and it's a way of creating jobs. And the third is compute. We need data centers that are so expensive that probably the role that government has to play. And they talked earlier about sandboxes, testing out this technology for real use cases that affect people, not just imaginary things that we saw in movies. And, I'm guessing we'll have time to talk more about that, but if you would like me to go into it, I can.
Thank you so much. We're running out of time, so we would like to take 2 questions from the audience, 2 to 3 questions. Do we have a running mic? Someone who would help us to... Is there anybody bold enough to ask a question? Damala, help.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. We're going to give you the microphone immediately. Anybody? Anybody? A question? Any question? All right.
Behind you.
Okay. Thank you. You tell us your name, your matric, no, sorry, your name, and then. So I was just joking, yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Okoluku Paul. I'm a student of International Relations at Obafemi Awolowo University. All right. I want to. My question is based on compute for the last speaker that spoke. All right. About compute. How are we going to make these computing centers more visible for people that not are not able to actually afford to actually use these compute centers?
Thank you for your question. Great question. Obviously, the compute that you might know about is the one in the cloud, but the one you mentioned are the people that can't afford it. There's something called edge computing, which is the feature phones that are still in the hands of 35% of our people, being able to use that to run the technologies that we talk about. To buttress on that point, if people are going to use AI in local languages, many people cannot read or write it, but they speak it. So it means that we need to connect local telephones into the cloud so that it can then, the people that cannot afford it can use local telephones, feature phones, or what they call it, balasa, right?
Yeah.
And then
Button phones, yeah.
and then use that to call like a central system that can then offer that translation into government services, into, features and ways that you use to deliver governance. So that it's edge computing, and also the edge computing still connects to a cloud and a data center that needs to be local. So investments need to go into that.
Yeah.
Businesses like ours have worked on the edge computing, but also I think there's a place for government to play for the computing centers with AI chips that can power these models.
I have a follow-up question because you mentioned that telecoms that technology has been running for a bit. It used to be called information technology. Now it's called tech, So we've been doing tech for a long time. But my question is, telecoms currently has a bit of this computing because you can actually call your customer care in Yoruba, in Igbo, in Hausa, in Pidgin, and they are prompts. So my question is, if we have a bit of an existing technology that caters to telecoms customers, right? Can we use a similar technology for multiple use?
No.
Okay.
For telecoms, if I call right now, I stay on the phone for 16 minutes and I talk for 8. 25 minutes of my life that I can't get back, right? Even telecoms companies need to review in a way that they can use artificial intelligence to pick up calls in 3 minutes and provide that same service in local languages, but with with AI. That's the role that they have to. So they as well have a role to play in upgrading their systems. And when they lead the way, banks will do it. All of the stable coins and all of these companies will do it as well to accelerate services. Lagosians are always in the hurry. They don't want to spend 25 minutes on the phone.
All right. So we
all
have
right.
time for one more question.
We
and
have
then we're-
another question here
Okay.
by a lady. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
I am
afternoon.
Balkis Temtokwe. My question is about security, and I think that should go to Shion. So, we've had a number of conversations today around everything innovation, technology, but there is no core seat about the place of security in all of this, because the person from Monica talked about people being scared to put down personally identifiable information, which is very true. But the question is, what are we doing and how are we building this security into it? And what is the awareness for the people that every single thing you put out there on tech, in tech, whatever, is actually safe and cannot become a problem for you later? Thank you.
Question. For us at Political Labs, security literally
Hello. 1, 2.
Never mind. Right. So I was saying that this is a really good question and is the sole reason why Polito Labs exists. We've been noticing a lot of hacks in blockchain, in DeFi, especially in cross-chain bridges. Cross-chain bridges currently account for around $3 billion worth of assets lost on the blockchain. And it's insane to me. And so we think that security should be at the forefront of every product, and not just even blockchain, even AI as well, right? Like you're using these AI systems and you're basically leaking all your data, right? So I would say technologists and people who develop technology for the world should think about security first. For us at Polito Labs, we've built a product that is the most secure cross-chain bridge in the world today. And this is also why we were able to raise foreign investment. But at the same time, I would say it extends beyond just bridges. I think it extends also into AI, and it extends into any kind of technology platform that you're building. Security is the only reason why these products will be around for a long time. That's what we fundamentally believe. Because if your system is not secure, you get hacked tomorrow, that's the end of your business, right? So that's kind of how we think about it. Thank you.
So we are actually out of time, and I have a commitment to keep to time. Okay, no problem.
The honorable.
Okay, so in Lagos State, we're way ahead of the curve. We have a Lagos State Cybersecurity Advisory Council, which is a first in Nigeria, where we have brought the best of minds in cybersecurity, globally renowned experts here to advise the government on cybersecurity framework, policies, and practical implementations. And as time goes on, we will collaborate with the major sectors of the economy, telecoms, banking, healthcare. Each of them may look at security in their own silos. But with the Cybersecurity Advisory Council, we know what threats are out there, what are cross-functional threats across the industries, what threats need to be made known to the public without anybody silencing information or keeping information away from the public. There would also be bulletin boards and things where the public can go to and like, well, this malware, this ransomware, beware and everything. We feel it behoves of us as a government, to give that level of exposure, knowledge, and education to our people in terms of cyber education. So that's where our own Cybersecurity Advisory Council also plays a value-add role that may not be achievable by one single vertical or sector of the economy. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. What I wanted to say is very similar to what he said. But since the Lagos State government is here, the reality of fraud across financial systems is most of the time it starts with a telco leak, or maybe you lose your phone, or you misplace your SIM, or somebody has access to your SIM card. A number of times it starts from there. And the biggest problem we have is, like he said, the telcos are in silos. When this happens, nobody knows. And also, the last thing is the way people move money after fraud is, let's say somebody went to bank A and then they defrauded a customer. That money doesn't just leave the system. It goes around 4, 5, 6, 7 banks. We've seen 10, 20, 40 banks for one fraud. It went through 40 banks before it eventually got to where they wanted it to go to. Now, in that kind of scenario, if the banks were all talking to themselves and you had one central platform that had both the telco, both the bank, and then the security agencies. So instead of you, because the way it works now in Nigeria, if they defraud you, you send to your bank will take 2 days, reply another bank, that other bank, they'll take 2 days, and so on. But if you had one central system with all the banks connected, then you can, from one click, stop the flow of money across all banks, and then link up with the security agencies that need going in each person's original fraud detection system.
So I feel like if we talk about security, we will not live here today. Mr. Olayinka. This is not the topic of this panel.
30 seconds, I promise. I think that to add to what he said and what everyone has said, we talked about digital security. We must also think about the order of the day right now, which is security of lives and property of Lagosians. I think that blockchain is very important. Traceability of transactions, as they say, it's used to fund terrorism. It is very important to be able to trace transactions. Robotics is very important. Drones, to be able to provide surveillance over the city. And most importantly, AI tools can serve as listening tools to target audiences who want to, cause trouble in Lagos. And I think that that's very important and very important to Lagosians and their lives and their property. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Commissioner, do you still have a question?
No, yes.
Yeah, good. All right, thank you.
All right.
You have a question. That's very interesting. So do you want to come and use my mic?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mr. Michael by nomenclature, a prolific and a professional American and Nigerian Sign Language instructor in Lagos State, and also a voice of the voiceless. So my question goes to one of the, I think that's Sister Monica or something like that. So she was talking about the language, that there should be a particular language for individual people to do the money and other things in the Lagos State. So I want to ask if we are truly making a provision of the language to make the transaction and the use of technology for every individual in the city of Lagos State to be easy. What about for the deaf people that they cannot hear pidgin, they cannot hear Yoruba? You understand me? And I want to tell you, some people always think English language is the same thing with sign language. They are two different things because sign language is an independent language for the deaf people. So how can we make a communication language skill for the deaf people to make use of the technology very well? Because I want to tell you that these deaf people, they are the most people that use technology in every phase of life. Is it social media you want to talk about? They don't use voice calls, they use video calls. Is it the Facebook, the TikTok? So how can you create a sign language as accessible communication to deaf people in the society of Lagos State? Thank you.
Sister Monica.
All right, thank you very much for that question. Honestly, this has to do with the back end in producing most of the software. Most of the times, most companies create platforms for just as a common language, which could be English, or most times there are apps where they don't even create languages like multilingual languages like Yoruba, Igbo, and all of that. It's mostly a central language, English. But I feel like most times when creating most of these apps, most of the back end should look at other disabled people, like he mentioned, the deaf, the dumb, because most of them can't even communicate the way we do. So I feel like they should also be put into consideration when creating this app. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, can you give everyone an applause, my amazing panelists? Thank you. Damola, over to you. Can we take pictures? Where do you Okay, great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands together for our discussants? Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Thank you very much. We are going to take a group photograph. Honorable Commissioner, if you don't mind, can you join them? Thank you very much. We also want to encourage others in the different breakout rooms to please round off so that we can officially have the vote of thanks, and we'll take it off from there. Auntie.